What's up, everybody? It is Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, and I got Mr. fucking Red Eyes over there. Mike with me on the Mike and Mish show. What's up, Mike? What's up with your face?
I got a little bit of that puff give before the show. That's what it looks like, right?
It sure
Me
does.
and Uncle Elroy.
Uncle Elroy.
Yep. Got that puff give before this. If
What is
anyone
really
must
going
know.
on?
So, I've been having a rough few years as far as my streaks have gone. So, first of all, I'd never been stung by a bee until I was 38 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
Not one time. I got stung 2 years ago because homeownership, right? They say homeownership. It's more like homeownership. So I'm fucking around with house stuff and I get stung by a damn bee, right? A yellow jacket. Mm-hmm. The year after that, I get stung again. So not stung for 37 years straight. 38th year, I'm stung. And I get stung again, right? 2 years in a row. Never had pink eye in my entire life. And I'll tell you, that's like a miracle because both of my kids are sick week in and week out. Like they just trade. Boom, boom, sick with conjunctivitis and this eye, that eye, both eyes, all the eyes, everyone's eyes except me. Even Steph has become victim of this. I woke up this morning and I couldn't see. I woke up this morning and I was like, I can't open my eyes. Like, what the fuck's going on here?
They're crusted.
And my right eye was all crusty crazy, right? Krusty the Clown. And then an hour later, my left eye, I noticed, was super red. And now both of them are all out of whack. They red as fuck too, man. Like when I tell you, like I don't know how well you can see these things, but.
Says Joe Ivy says, I was going to ask last night if Mike had pink eye. Wow. She's going to ask you last night. You need to tell Steph to stop farting on your goddamn pillow.
Yeah, it probably was maybe my right eye was starting to get red. Dude,
wow.
Holy shit. Let me tell you.
Well, I can tell you right now, I've never had pink eye in my life, but I did have a friend of mine that used pink eye to get out of work one day. But he didn't really have pink eye. He got really high in high school, and then he put clear eyes in one eye and then rubbed the other one really hard so it puffed up. And then he went into his work and told him that he thinks he has pink eye, and they sent him home for a week. It's fucking sweet. He didn't get paid, but he didn't have to work that day. Wicked smart guy. But hey, we got a big show tonight. We got 4 guests lined up. Starting off with Tyler Randall. Rookie Randall will be starting us off in a few minutes here, followed by Isaac, the Honeybadger Doolittle, who's co-maining Delray Beach against Jake Boswick next week. Then we got fucking Rene Rodriguez, white boy, Rene Rodriguez, dude. Street fight legend, import to the BKFC, and now he's making his second trip to the ring, to the squared circle, and I cannot wait to talk to this guy because he has a crazy background story. He has a crazy career in fighting, sanctioned and unsanctioned. It's going to be super cool to talk to him. And then we're going to finish up the show with former Bellator 2-time featherweight champion Daniel Straus, who's headlining the fight next week, headlining the card next week against Datwin. Unbelievable show tonight. Unbelievable lineup of fighters, but we got to say some shout outs to our sponsors to kick this thing off like we always do.
Norcom Mortgage and Michael Mish are delivering the American dream to those who serve America, helping veterans obtain the dream of home ownership. They offer programs that include no money down, no first-time homebuyer requirement, 100% cash out refinances, rehab loans. They can help you purchase a home, purchase a condo, refinance an existing mortgage, create a dream home with rehab loan. To learn more, visit www.michaelmish.norcommortgage.com or call 860-884-2103.
Norcom Mortgage, they're the ones that are going to make all your home buying dreams come true. And the guy you're going to talk to is Michael Mish, 860-884-2103. Talk to Mike. I promise it'll be worth your while. And when you're sitting in your new home with your feet up, drinking vodka and cranberry and watching Mike and Mish on Wednesdays and Thursdays, you'll thank us for this. We also got Guerrilla Warfare Apparel. I got the hat on. Mike's got a shirt on. They got a whole lineup of awesome gear. Go to guerrillawarfareapparel.com, use Mike and Mish promo code and get 15% off anything you buy on their website. They are fucking awesome stuff. If you're trying to get jacked, if you're trying to get skinny, if you're trying to get some energy, whatever you need, if it's a supplement, they got it. Go to condemnedlabs.com, use promo code Mike and Mish, get 10% off. We're creeping towards the spring. It's spring. Your freaking clock's forward this weekend. So you know what that means. It's time to start shedding that winter weight. Get some of that fat burner, some pre-workout, some creatine, and get in the gym. And then head over to Instagram, hit up BKBetShark, and follow this man for all your betting guidance. He's got a very high win percentage, and he's really stacking some cash for a lot of people. And I suggest that you guys go check him out. If you're a gambler, you like to bet on these fights. He's really making a pretty good name for himself in the bare knuckle betting industry. And then last but not least, we got bare knuckle corn snacks. If you like popcorn and you like flavor, I was actually talking to somebody at work about this today, Mike, and we pulled up their website and they have a ton of options.
A ton.
So go to what'spoppincornsnacks.com and check out all their stuff. With that said, Tyler Randall just messaged me. He's about 2 minutes out. He's going to be on any minute here. I'm excited about this, dude. Tyler's coming off a loss against Kerry Caprio about a year ago. And, he's still ranked number 2 in his division. He wants to get a win and get back on track and be back in that, title contention talk. And, in the last year, Chancey Wilson's looked great. He did take a loss in his last one against J.R. Ridge, but that was a fight of the night fight. He was there, bell to bell. And Chancey has been very impressive. So this is a really nice matchup for a rookie. What do you think?
Oh, I think it's great. I actually am bewildered, right? I'm going to use the word bewildered when I look. Yep, because here I am.
Because he's not in the top 5?
Yes, Kyle. Why would he not be in the top 5? The man has fought at this weight class many times. He's fought all the best guys. And I don't understand it. I don't understand. So if you are a person that is looking at the rankings and you only have slim pickings at 120, it's not like there's like 100 people to pick from here. So there's only so many names that you have to look at, and you got to go in and you find out what their record is, and you find out who they fought and what weight they fought at, and you see Chancey Wilson. And how could you not put him in there? I mean, I feel like it's like a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. You got a guy in here. What is he, 2-2? And then you have other people that are 1-0. And I'm not saying that some people didn't do a good job, but I mean, doesn't that just seem like an easy thing?
It doesn't make any sense.
You have 0-1s and 1-0s, and then you have this guy's 2-2, and he's fighting Randall. It's just like that same situation that happened where somehow Randall ended up in first place above J.R. Ridge, and he didn't even fight. So
right. So the guy ahead, 2 guys ahead of him in the rankings, and I know that Daniel Alvarez has been asking for a fight for a long time. We talked to Scott a lot. It's not anything on Daniel Alvarez. He's only 1-0, but he does have his win over the number 1 ranked guy, J.R. Ridge, right now.
Yes,
so I would leave him in there before Marciano Hernandez, because Marciano Hernandez, his 2 wins are against Raymond Locker, who was 0-1 going into that, now 0-2, and then RIP to Gerald Grigori. But you guys, no offense to Gerald, he was a great guy, but you know what? He wasn't the biggest threat in the world. You know what I mean? So for Marciano Hernandez to be 2-0 with those 2 wins and sitting there, and he hasn't fought for almost a year as well. So I don't get how Chancey Wilson, who stayed busy and has looked good, does not crack into that top 5. But I also don't understand.
Get him out of there.
I also don't understand how John Dodson didn't jump to number 2 right behind J.R. Ridge in front of Tyler Randall, who's going to be joining us in a minute here. Not nothing against any of these fighters. I just think I try to think as logical as possible. And Tyler Randall is coming off a loss against Kerry Caprio, and we're going to talk to him about that in a minute here. But he's coming off a loss, and in the same time, in between his loss and now, John Dodson has beat a UFC fighter and a former champion in Jared Grant, and he's sitting at number 3 behind Tyler. So the ranking system just doesn't seem to be making sense to me right now.
We need some new peeps up in there. That's what I think.
We need some new peeps. Who do we get in here? We'll get Corey Rivera on board. We'll get me and you. We'll get Debbie Jean. We'll get Joe Ivy, Susan Walker, Big Ben, Absent Minded, and we'll see if we can get a good ranking system going. What do you think?
Yeah. Let's get all these people. Let's write a letter. Time to write a letter. Yeah, man. So, you know what I noticed that really pisses me off? I'm jumping way off, right? This has nothing to do with Bareknuckle, but every now and then I like to do like a little what grinds my gears, because there's a lot of things in this world that grind my gears. It doesn't take a lot. Okay, it doesn't take a lot. You know what I really hate, Kyle? You know what
What's
I
that?
really don't like when people do this to me? They put me in this awkward position, right? Okay.
What?
When someone tells me to try something, food, right?
Yeah.
And they say, hey,
They want you to like it.
They want you to like it. They hand you the food, and then you take the food reluctantly sometimes. Sometimes you don't even want it, but you're like, you know what? Fine, I'll so good. Let me try it. And you take it. And then when you go to eat it, this is the part I hate. They stare at you while you're chewing.
Yeah.
And they're looking at you like, huh? Oh, and you're chewing your food, and they're just staring at you, waiting for your reaction. So it's like almost like you're like, oh, that was pretty good. I hate that. It's the most awkward moment, right? And the problem is what if it sucks, right? Then you're like, oh, no, I don't like this. Oh. One time, I don't like seafood, right? I got this guy, Nate, that works with us. He's like, hey, try out this fucking shark jerky, right? So I'm like, oh, I don't like fish. He's like, oh, it's not that fishy at all. And I'm like, all right, well, shark jerky. I'm going to try that shit out, right? Shark jerky. Can't turn that down. I grabbed this shark jerky. I put it in my mouth. And I swear to God, like the second it got in my mouth, I knew I hated it. Like the second I put it in, I was like, oh God, no. Why did I do this? And I started like almost gagging, but I kept it back. So I'm chewing it, and he's talking to me in the break room, and I'm going, and I fucking, the second I got to get out of there, I got the hell out of there, and I fucking ran right to the trash, and I was like, fucking dry heaving and shit. Oh, it was awful. Oh my God, I hate it. But they staring at me, waiting for me to what? Puke in your face? Like I didn't like it.
Was this recently?
Nah, this was a long time ago. But the food thing happened recently, and I was, the shark thing happened a while ago, but the food thing, like it happened recently, and I was like, this is so weird. What? Why? I don't like this. Don't do this to people. Don't do this to people.
I thought you were going to relate that to the rankings and
no. That's what I was saying. I'm going way off in the right field. As we waited for rookie Randall, I felt like killing
he's here now.
Seconds.
Okay,
all right. I can see his beautiful beard down there.
That's fantastic. All right, so hey guys, we got our first guest of the evening tonight. He's going to be fighting Chancey Superfly Wilson, getting back on track here in Delray Beach, Florida next week, March 17th, St. Patty's Day. Let's get the rookie in here. Tyler, Rookie Randall. What's up, brother?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Yo.
Hey, you know we're always doing good. How are you?
Not too bad. Living the dream, I'd say. Excited about St. Patty's weekend.
Oh yeah,
man. Let me ask you about that. So you fought last June. I think it was June against Kerry Caprio. Super tough kid, man. That was a hell of a little fucking scrap between the two of you. You've been out for a minute since then. Did you want to take this break and recoup after taking the loss and maybe rethinking some things, or was it just a matter of they didn't offer you a fight since June?
So I tried to get back in a little sooner, but the way they're matchmaking and things, I guess, didn't line up for me to be on the earlier cards. They tried, but they couldn't. So I was like, no rush, when we can. And then this fight lined up, so we took it.
you took it and you're taking it against a guy who's extremely like we just talked about. Chancey has looked really good in his last couple fights. His last fight was against JR Ridge, and it was a fight of the night winner right there. I think they were co-fight of the nights. I'm pretty positive about that. He's looked great. Your division is really stacking up. Your division itself is looking great. It's how good does it feel to be back in there and to be stepping in there with a guy like Chancey, where if you do take a W over him, that puts you, right back in the talks of, top guy in that division.
Honestly, it's a real blessing. Any way that you look at it, I'm extremely excited to fight someone who has more of the experience in the league and he's been there in a while. You know what I mean? He was one of the earliest flyweights, or maybe he fought strawweight for BKFC early on. But he has a lot of experience with them, so I'm excited about this bout. I really am. His style, I feel like, matches up really well with mine, too.
Yeah,
so
he's a big difference from your last opponent. Would you say, Kerry Caprio?
Oh, 100%. You know what I mean? The reach is completely different. The height, one's orthodox, one's southpaw.
Right. It's a huge difference. So it's almost like you can't really take anything from that last fight and make too many adjustments off of what you did in that fight for this one, because they're 100% different people.
100%. So there's certain things, of course, that I could actually I was able to take a lot from my last fight that I dealt with, and I allowed myself to get kind of frustrated in the fight and not fight the way I like to fight. And that came through with my own little bit of arrogance and, whatever, but I worked through it, I progressed through it, and I spent some time rehabbing and fixing a lot of things that I had wrong. And then getting a good time out for this camp was awesome. So now we got to add things and change things throughout it.
So you're saying that your adjustments from the last one were more mental than physical?
Correct.
Right? Yeah. I mean, Caprio, he surprised a lot of us, though. Mike and I were there that night, and we talked to you guys down there at that event. And in the first round, if I remember it correctly, it looked like you were kind of doing your thing. And did you knock him down a couple times, 1 or 2 times in the first round?
So I clipped him real hard a couple times in the first round, and then I hit him with a naked overhand right and just dropped him pretty well. I didn't clip him clean on the chin, but I clipped him in the cheek, and it was hard enough for him to fall clean down. I don't think I knocked him down a second time, but I think I just hurt him significantly again. I think I knocked his mouthpiece out and wobbled him to the ropes. But then going in a little bit later in the little rounds, I started getting kind of cocky and arrogant, relying on just trying to put him to sleep instead of just actually fighting him and just boxing him. And I paid the price for that because he had a much longer reach. So staying in the pocket like that and trying to hit him, they added up quick.
No, he's a beast for sure. He showed a lot of people that he belonged in there. That's for sure. Especially against a guy like yourself, top of the division kind of guy. Your opponent's in the comments right now, says it's going to be a fire ass fight. Looking forward to it. See you soon, rookie. So 2 good guys going in there fighting each other. Do you guys know each other, or is this going to be the first time you meet will be the first time you start swinging at each other?
We talked for a second we talked 2 times, probably a minute maybe each time over in Kansas. Because he fought Justin Martinez when I fought Joshua Ritchie.
That's right. You guys were both there. It was in Wichita. We just got done. So you want to hear something funny? So my kids play this fucking game.
This guy down here, Honeybadger, was there too.
Yeah, and the guy in the waiting room. They're the whole
big old
team.
Party.
Hey, my kids play this thing on their tablet where they it's kind of like Rock Band, Guitar Hero, where the thing comes at you and you got to hit the buttons to make music, but it's more like a piano, right? And they play this song, and the song's called Wichita, right? So it's like Wichita. It's got words, and they're like, "Daddy, you been to Wichita, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." There's nothing to do in Wichita. It's 60-mile-an-hour winds, local bars, and fucking nothing to do out there. I would be okay with not going back, but of course I'll go back to another.
Right. All you see is flat. Everything's just flat.
I mean, hey, listen, not to really totally. Isaac Doolittle is in the. We could see him in the green room. He's agreeing. He's agreeing. He's yes, north and south, north and south. But we were there for only a few days. So, but the wind fucking sucked. Oh, my God. We were walking the hotel was next to Target, and we were walking to Target, and I was like, how the fuck do I feel like I want to just die here in the middle of the parking lot?
I did
not
the
even
same
get to
thing. My
Target? Like,
bags
I
were
hate
flying
this.
around everywhere.
It's the worst.
Dude, but I will say this. There was the biggest, most impressive gym I've ever seen in my life
Oh, that was an
in
awesome
Wichita.
gym.
Whatever gym all the fighters were using to go cut weight, there was this massive complex. I don't even know what the hell it was called. I'd have to
Yeah.
Google it.
We were in
It
that
was
back
like
room.
it had a
Yeah.
full court basketball court. It had a movie theater in it.
Wow.
It had. It was like, I'm like, what the
There was
fuck
that big ass jacuzzi. I mean, the jacuzzi was the size of like a small pool, like an above ground pool that you would
Yeah.
see in somebody's yard, right? And
No
then there was
shit.
a sauna next to a steam room. And I think Crystal Pittman died and came back to life between those two rooms. Yep. I was there for it. But yeah, for real, it was huge. It was awesome. Definitely a pretty cool damn place.
Yeah, I ended up doing my weight cut actually in my hotel room that time.
No
Oof.
shit. Yeah. So, because you're from Cape Coral, or are you still living down there?
Fort Myers.
Fort Myers.
Fort Myers, My
His
in-laws are
his
from-
in-laws live there. My parents live in Cape Coral.
Oh, nice. Small world.
Yeah. My mom keeps gushing about this damn fucking all fresh produce market that opened down there. It's like
Oh,
the big-
Sprouts or something like that?
I don't know. She's like, it's like a produce superstore. I'm like, wow.
Oh
Like,
my
they're dope.
God.
They're pretty lit.
Yeah, that's
It's like the 60s all over again, man. There's no high fructose corn syrup in this place.
No, it's super cool. Like, she's like, it's so funny that like when your parents get older and retire, they go down south, and like that's the kind of stuff. But they're pretty. I'm not busting my parents' balls right now.
The
right?
exciting
Sorry
news
if
they tell you.
yeah. So, dude, back to the fight. What can we expect between you and Chancey? And you know that Chancey's ready to go all five. He does that pretty regularly. So, what can we expect between Rookie and Chancey?
Honestly, I'd say a fast fight. Just a fast-paced fight. Shit. I'm just excited. I
Don't want to get ahead of yourself.
Footage over and over. I've been training. I've been visualizing, seeing what I need to do, seeing what I need, how I have to do, how I have to press. Having my partners come in and simulate him, going and finding partners to simulate him, just practicing over and over what I need to do. You're just gonna see a war. If he's there ready to go, I'm ready to go too.
Definitely, man. Well, we know that that's what you do when you come in there. You know that's what he does when he goes in there. So it's exciting. Now, I'm not telling you to look past him, especially because he's in the comments listening to you talk right now. But you go in there and you get a W in Delray Beach in Florida on March 17th. You trying to stay busy this year compared to last year? You trying to you get right back in there as soon as
100%.
possible?
100%. I would love to fight right after.
Yeah,
And
you
if
got.
the fight goes the way I want it to go, I'd like to fight Dodson right after.
I was just gonna say, you got guys like John Dodson and J.R. Ridge up there. You got some real tough dudes in your division now.
Clarify that belt holder.
And maybe even like, I don't know if a run back with Kerry Caprio makes sense right now, but maybe if he gets a couple more fights and he comes back around,
Gladly.
and you try to right that wrong. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Keep sitting him down.
Yeah, yeah, it's exciting. I can't wait to see you back in there. This is a sport that we like to see people busy in, and June to now is too long for us to not see you in there.
Way too long.
I agree, 100%.
You were just coming from the gym right now, right? So you're like,
yes, sir.
You're rip roaring and ready to go. We're gonna play a quick game with you before we get you out of here. Nice. You're from Florida. This is something that I really think is going to be fun because you are a Florida man. You might not be a Florida man, but you're a Florida guy. Yeah. We're going to play a game called Was It a Florida Man? All right. And what I'm going to do, what me and Mike are going to do, we're going to read you 4 headlines from the news. And all you're going to do is tell us yes or no if you believe that this incident happened in Florida. Okay. I'll kick this right off. Number 1, knife-wielding man tries to get imaginary girlfriend from a garbage truck. These are all, I mean,
these are real things.
These are real things. They just might not.
Yes.
You're going to go with yes. And being from Florida, you happen to know things like this shit happens. Yes. The story also involved crack cocaine and pepper spray, but that wouldn't fit into the newspaper headline.
Hell of a
Okay.
drug.
Hell of a drug. Number 2.
All
Mark.
right. Bank robber attempts getaway in motorboat with a broken motor and still tries to paddle away from cops. Gotta get out of here. Go.
I'm going to give it a yes on that too. Florida.
Oh, we tricked him with this one. That is fake
Damn.
news. That did
Oh,
not happen
this is
in the great
fake
state of
news.
Florida. I don't
Okay.
even know where it happened. Okay.
Okay.
All right, number 3.
Trick.
Man high on synthetic drug calls himself Thor and has sex with a tree.
That's got to be fake news, man. No way.
Well, I hate to bust your bubble. Of course it's Florida. Happened in Melbourne, Florida, and the man was high on Flocka. Okay.
What is Flocka?
Waka Flocka Flame.
Isn't Flocka was the stuff that was turning everybody into like zombies, right? That was like
No
that fucking
shit.
zombie drug.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like people were trying to eat people and shit on that stuff.
Was
Last
that
one.
guy on the bridge on that? The bridge guy
Yeah, maybe.
I know what video
yeah,
you're
yeah.
talking
that
about.
ate that dude's face in Miami?
Yes, he was on Flocka. Yes,
Eating
that was a
faces
Flocka
in
video.
Miami.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
yeah.
You did a
Also
drug.
a
You
Florida
end up
man.
eating somebody's face. I mean, that's, oh my God. Where'd
They
you get
sober
that?
up and tell you what you did. You're like, no shit.
Yeah. And you got shot and it didn't even phase you.
And now you're a walker. Here you go, Mike. Last one for rookie.
Man escapes on lawnmower from intoxicated machete wielding man.
Did it happen in Florida?
You know what? I'm going to say it happened.
There you go. Mike,
Where
go
did
ahead.
it happen?
Mike, go ahead and read that.
True, it actually took place in Delray Beach. You guys are going to see this guy. He's going to be in the VIP area at the BKFC fights this week, next week. Rather.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be there. Actually, we worked out a thing with David Feldman. He's going to be in your corner.
That is
Good. I need him there.
Nah, man. When I was looking these stories up and I saw that this one particular story happened in Delray Beach, I was like, oh, I'm adding this shit to the game for sure. That's fucking too perfect because rookie Randall is taking on Chancey Superfly Wilson next week, March 17th, Delray Beach, Florida, on a huge card headlined by Dat Wayne and Daniel Straus. And you got Doolittle and Bostwick on there. You got HD Davis on there. It's a huge ass card. You got Rene Rodriguez on there. Rookie, go ahead and give us your final thoughts. Give us a message, shout some people out, and let you out of here.
Oh, man. I'm ready to take a head off St. Patty's Day. I want to give a shout out to my buddy Bobby Gibbs, a couple of my sponsors, Nerd Focus, Mike Ware Home Improvement, Lighting Realty Group, and Roman Roofing. Honestly, bro, I'm ready to go. Excited for it. Blessed to say. And I'm ready to be under the lights again. Smiling, doing what I got to do. Looking good, feeling good, fighting good.
Get back on that winning track and eyes on the prize, right? Right.
100%.
There it is, man. Well, everybody, if you haven't gotten the app yet, your link tree is in the bottom here. It's been scrolling across the whole time. Do you have an app link in
Yeah, there's a link in the app. If you go to my link tree, there's a link for the app, a link for different things, you know what I mean, about BKFC, stuff like that.
There you go, people. Support rookie Randall and go check him out March 17th against Chancey Wilson. Mike, you got anything else for him?
Nah, man, thank you so much for coming on. Wish we could be there for your fight, but we will be watching and we'll catch up with you later on.
Awesome, man. Thank you guys for having me and God bless.
Thanks,
All
man.
right, brother. Take it easy. Good luck. See ya.
Peace.
There he is, Tyler, rookie Randall, the number 2 ranked flyweight in the BKFC right now, ahead of John Donson, right behind JR Ridge. They got a couple really stout fighters at the top of that division, and that division's building up, so it's pretty exciting. Our second guest of the evening is the co-main event on the event that we've been talking about the last 2 nights, Delray Beach, Florida, BKFC 39. Let's bring on the man who'll be taking on Jake Bostwick, Isaac Honeybadger Doolittle. What is going on, you Viking son of a bitch?
How are you guys today?
Doing great.
Doing great, man. How are you?
Pretty good. Just got done with some training, so.
Dude,
Look at
that beard is getting long.
It is
dude.
getting long. He's got an extra. You got an extra piece on the end of it. You know what I'm saying?
No, I usually
an
tie it
extra
up for
poof.
fight.
Oh, it's because I feel like it looks so much longer than, well, when last time we saw you in person was in Denver.
Wow, because it was braided up pretty tightly.
Yeah. Okay. Because that shit looks long as hell right now.
It looks like
It's gonna be hitting you nuts soon.
the fourth member of ZZ Top over here, my friend.
Working on it.
Isaac, dude, last time we saw you was in Denver, Colorado, putting on an absolute classic war with Mike
Man.
Richmond. We hung out with you guys after the fight. You guys are absolute gentlemen, classy as fuck, humble in victory or defeat. That was one of the coolest nights that we've had so far as media covering this, because
one of the best moments ever.
To sit there and watch you two discuss that fight, the ins and outs of that fight over a couple cold ones. I think you don't even drink beer, and you might have had you don't drink, right?
Yeah, I do occasionally. I'm a German Jew. It takes way too much to get me drunk. So what's the point?
Nah, I just remember you saying something like that. You don't really drink, but you'll have a couple beers with Mike that night. And that was such a cool moment.
He did punch the shit out of me, so I owe him that much.
Nah, man, it was amazing. You were showing that you deserve that, title shot as well as just as much as he does. You emptied the tank in that fight. It was really something to see for sure. But now you're dropping weight, and you had talked to us about that. I believe you had already started eyeballing 175 prior. Here we go. You're going to 175. You're fighting Jake Boswick, which is a very tough customer in your first fight in that division. How are you feeling heading into this new division, and how excited are you to fight a guy like Jake?
I'm extremely excited to fight a guy like Jake because he always presses forward, and I'm tired of chasing opponents around like it's my kid at the mall and he's done something wrong. So Richmond was a fun fight because we stayed in the middle and we banged in the middle and all went down in the middle.
Right, and you know that Jake, that's exactly how he fights. It's going to be a war for sure. If you asking for a war, you're going to get one.
I always ask for a war every time.
Yeah, it's great, man. We love your style. Is a cut to 175 even all that much for you, or is that more like kind of where you probably naturally should have been fighting to begin with?
I mean, I'm a fat kid at heart. If I can eat 7,000 calories going into the fight, I'm going to be happy. I actually have to cut this time, and I'm not sure I like giving up the foods that I like.
Did you even how much did you cut to make 185 when you were fighting up there?
When I was at Richmond, of course, I was like 2 weeks before, I was summiting mountains. I was going on runs, trail runs. I was everywhere. So I think I overcut. I cut 3 pounds and I was 2.5 under.
So before, now that the fight has happened, right? And we didn't mention this to anybody before then, but you had some issues leading up to that Denver. When you were traveling, I remember you told us a story, right? About getting to Denver that was just absurd. And I was like, I cannot believe this guy is going through all of this. And then to see the performance that you put on that night too, you made weight, you put on that crazy performance. I think people need to hear a little bit of what went down on the way, if you don't mind.
I mean, we had it because I went up to Salida and I stayed with the 14ers Jiu-Jitsu with Joel Garza for about 2 weeks trying to get acclimated. And by the way, you can't get acclimated to Denver in 2 weeks. It takes 2 months. They were liars. I looked at all the paperwork. It takes about 2 months to get acclimated to that altitude. 2 weeks did not do much for me. But while I was up there, I think the third day, my alternator blew. My car kept overheating, and I'm not a car guy, so I didn't know what to do. So I bribed the guy to help me put in an alternator. The problem was it didn't get in until like the day I had to leave. So the morning that I was supposed to go to Denver, I spent like 2.5, 3 hours putting in an alternator. Then when we drove there, it was any time that it idled, it got too hot. So I was sitting there having to like shut it off in the middle of a big city and then turn it back on in neutral, coast it. Like it was a pain in the ass.
And you're supposed to be cutting weight at that time. So you're like in traffic and driving and stopping.
Wasn't an alternator, it was a radiator. Sorry.
Yeah.
You just said you're not a car guy.
I'm not a car guy. It was in the front.
It was an important part of the car.
So get this. So I just put in that radiator. I had the fight. And then me and my dad were helping to patch my roof. We put 40 gallons worth of tar on it. and I went to drive him home. This was like a couple weeks after the fight, maybe 2. And a deer decided that my paint job was not to his appreciation and proceeded to smash said brand new radiator into the front of my engine.
Jesus, no
No.
way.
I was very upset about my new radiator.
So when Jessica Link, who is in the comments right now, says you finally got a new car, it wasn't by choice. It was the deer's fault.
It's a deer choice.
And
The
it's a
deer's
newish car. It's about as new as I'm willing to get. She tried to get me to get some 08, 10, 12, something or other, who have fancy bell whistles. Yeah, no.
Oh, treat yourself.
Yeah.
I'm broke fighter. I ain't treating myself.
How about like a 1991 midnight blue Chevy Cavalier?
So you laugh. Before that Buick, guy at the gym helped me find that Buick because I was driving a white minivan that had 3 missing windows. None of the doors work. It was the middle of winter. We had like 6 inches of snow, and I was driving an hour to work and back with trash bags over my windows.
Jesus Christ. The life of a fighter, man. This is the stuff that people don't see. They see these amazing fights. They see these awesome performances by you guys, but it's the behind the scenes stuff. Very interesting shit.
When
man.
I say if you want to fight, you're going to fight. Doesn't matter the excuse. I mean it.
There you go. Well, man, you got a big one coming up here. You're returning to the old squared circle, and what can everybody expect? Is this one going to go the distance between you and Jake? Because I don't see it. Like personally, I don't see this. But the way you two both approach this sport, and the way you both go fucking balls out head on, I feel like you just talked about a car crash. I feel like we're about to see one in Delray Beach next week.
So generally, when I hit somebody, they tend to give me space, and then my short arms can't reach them, and that's why we go 5 rounds. So the one time that didn't happen, it did not go the distance. So I'm assuming by a process of elimination, it will not go the distance. It will probably be a firefight, but I am ready for all 5 brutal rounds if we are going them.
And he's been like you did. I'm sure you have done your homework and you've watched the Fish Gold fight a few times, I would imagine. What were your thoughts about? I would say that Jake's previous fights to that one, he progressed big time. He made some changes in his game. He was much more he wasn't as wild in that fight. He was picking his shots a little more. He was countering fucking beautifully. He was jabbing awesome in that fight. Chris Fishgold is a 20-something fight MMA pro who fought in the UFC and whatnot. So that he wasn't fighting no schmuck. He went out there and probably looked as good as he's ever looked, right?
Bostwick's, he's from England. It's not like they don't know how to throw hands. I think they originated it, them and the Irish. So, I mean, he knows how to fight. He's got good footwork. He's got good head movement. He's got good striking. He's tough as all get out. He's not nicknamed Brutal for nothing. It's going to be an exciting fight. Dude's a world-class fighter. Literally anybody at this level that steps into that ring belongs there. They have earned their shot. I don't understand these fighters that say he doesn't belong here. Yeah, we all kind of do. And to throw that away is just stupidity. Bostwick's brutal.
Dude, and now, no offense to the 185 division, because they do have some killers in the top 5, which you sat in, right? You know, top 5 or 6 guys are all real formidable opponents. And then there's a bunch of, middle of the road guys that are trying to make their way in that division. But you're going down to 175 now. That is, I feel like there's 10, 12, 15 dudes in that division that are real fucking stout opponents. In that top 5, you're number 1 contender coming from 185 down to 175. And now you got to contend with guys like Francisco Ricky and Mike Perry and Mike Richmond and fucking all the, what are your thoughts on the division that you're dropping down? And Luke Rockhold's around now too. You might see him at some point, it's a pretty exciting division to go down to. And the champ, Dave Lundell, of course.
Oh yeah. I'm most of the guys in the top 5, I've either fought at the 185 and I've beaten, or we've kind of danced around. Josh Dyer was one that I really wanted to fight. We haven't gotten the chance to fight each other. But down at the 75, Bostwick's was one I was looking at. Mike Perry's another one. Francisco Ricci. I know how to fight tall guys, so that would be an extremely fun fight. Dave Mundell, I think it was last fight, the one before Richmond, he said he'd end my boring streak. So I'm gonna hope to give him that opportunity. He's a great striker in his own right, but we'll see if he can do the deed if we ever get together. My hat's off to the redneck. Beautiful knockout on Richie and beautiful clean boxing. But I want a piece of that.
Yeah, and I don't know if Yuli's still around, but Yuli was always around at 175 too. That would be a fun fight for you. Yeah, it seems like Yodina Cedeno is another one that just fought Gogo. He would be a good fight. There's a lot of work to do in that division for you. Do you think a win over Jake, with all those names that are clouding up that top 5, where do you put yourself if you get a win over Jake? You think you gotta step in there with a guy like Mike Richmond next, or Francisco on your way to Mondell?
I mean, Richmond and I already have a date planned sometime in the future. I want my rematch against that wonderful hunk of a man. And the clinic he put on Hunt, I still feel so good about myself for putting Richmond in trouble for a whole round. Hunt threw a Hail Mary, and that was a beautiful Hail Mary, but Richmond did a clinic all 2 minutes and 45 seconds before that one.
Mike's probably going to agree with this question to you. What do you think about the fan base that is completely writing off Mike and what he did in that fight? Like, there's a portion of the BKFC fanhood that are saying like he never even belonged in the 185-pound division, and it was proven that night when Lorenzo knocked him out. Like the first minute and 40 seconds, and we love Lorenzo. I feel like he's ignoring the first minute and 40 seconds of that fight as well. What do you say to the fans that are saying these like ludicrous things? He absolutely belonged in there, and he proved it, I thought.
So you remember when Conor McGregor first took the scene, and there was a whole brand new change of fans that went from the discerning fight fans to the, oh my God, Conor McGregor. Lorenzo has those fans, and his persona capitalized on those fans, and bravo to him for marketing himself. He's great at it in his own right.
He's best in the game at it, actually.
Oh yeah,
top dog.
When he fought Richmond, it showed after the fight. He knew Richmond belonged. Everything else is just bluster. You meet the man, the dude's trying to sell himself. He's got kids to feed. He's got kids. I know he's got one. He's got a family to take care of. Mm-hmm. He's doing what he needs to do. And I will always tip my hat off to him. It's a persona. He knows what happened. You watch his post-fight interview, he knows what happened. He's not going to write that off. He's a smart man, and he's going to prepare if they ever go back into that ring. He's going to put everything on the line just to try and keep up with Richmond. And Richmond 100% belonged. I was at the top of the 85 division. People can boo-hoo it all they want. I had 3 wins against some of the toughest 85ers. And Richmond took everything I had, the kitchen sink, and came back. That man is a world-class striker. And he belongs at the top of pretty much any division he goes to. And I always picture most people as I have a fighting bucket list that I want. Richmond's on it. I really want my rematch against Richmond. Hunt is on it, but I don't want to fight him at 85. Man looks like a skeleton and dead. I might fight him on my way out at 205. I'll be a real fat kid for that one.
Eat all the cake you want to for that one.
That's going to be barbecue and tacos all the way to fight day.
Yes. You know what I wanted to ask you is, up into that Richmond fight, you were fantastic in Bareknuckle, right? And all the fans that are into bare knuckle, that follow the sport, we all know who you are. That fight against Mike Richmond, although it ended up as a loss on your record, it was in Denver, which up to that point, Albuquerque was like, I think, the best crowd. When we got to Denver, that Denver crowd was absolutely insane. So I want to say there was like 6,000 people or something there, right? So it's absolutely stacked. I know a lot of people were watching it because the kind of people that were there ringside to see that fight, Justin Gaethje, Rose Namajunas, like there was big names there. How much did that fight change your career? Because like I said, even though it was an L, I don't look at it that way. I don't even, we're talking about it now and I've mentioned that it's an L, but I don't believe in my mind that it really was an L for you. I think it was almost like you guys both won in that fight. So how did that change your fighting life?
So I want to point out something about that Denver crowd. I was very upset at them because I always love to go back through and watch my fight and listen to Chris Lytle and Sean Wheelock and their commentary, because Wheelock and I are good friends, and he usually like picks jabs at me here and there in good fun, and I'll send a message to him afterward. I couldn't hear a lick of what either of those two said over the crowd at all. I have no idea what they said during that fight.
It was absolutely one of the loudest crowds we've ever been to.
As for that, so the old adage, and it's very true, and I hate how true it is either you win or you learn.
Yep.
In my striking career, I've lost 2 times. In my eyes, it was brutal. My coach said they were both competitive, but each time I have skyrocketed after those. At least the first loss. We're going to see if I can do it after the second loss. So yeah, I lost, but I'm not in this to win. I'm in this to have fun. If I get a belt, cool. I'm going to give it to my coach because he deserves it more than I do. And I'm here to punch people.
You're one of those, I'm not here for a long time, I'm here for a good time, guys.
Exactly.
Oh man, I love that. It
was a damn good time, that's for sure.
Isaac, they're saying it in the comment section. You're all class. We love your attitude. You're like the most humble guy in the world. Win or lose, you're
because
fun
I'm a
to be
dumb
around.
Kansas kid.
Yeah, we love that. Yeah, you love Wichita, don't you? That wind, don't you?
They always say it'd be fine without the wind, and everybody's like, that's bullshit until they get here, and then they're like, oh my God, the wind.
Oh, God, I hate wind.
It was crazy. Now, you heard me talking trash about Wichita earlier, but in our like I was bullshit. I was kind of bullshit, and we were only there for 3 days. What the fuck do I know about Wichita? All I know is that it was 60-mile-an-hour winds the whole time, and we had a good time at the fights. So, dude, we're gonna run you through 4 quick questions before we get out of here. We like to nerd out a little bit once in a while with guys like yourself. Tell me, who's the greatest superhero of all time and why? There's only one answer to this. Come on.
Shut up. Of course I know superheroes. I'm not that closeted. I would probably have to say, when I was a kid, me and my brothers always used to pick superheroes. We were mainly X-Men fans, and I liked Nightcrawler.
Wow, that's a cool answer. I would expect.
Yeah.
Mainly because at this point in my life, I really like Nightcrawler for the fact that his superpower is teleportation, and I can then go to any place I want as quickly as I want, get whatever food I want at whatever beach I want, and I don't have to pay anybody to get me there.
Beautiful.
There you go. And you don't have to blow a radiator on the way. It's perfect.
Right?
Right? All right, number 2.
If you could have one of these powers, but only for one day, would you rather be invisible or be able to fly? One day.
Only one day.
Jess would try to murder me if I was invisible, because that's just a lot of pervy shit. And so I'm going to go with fly.
There you go. That's a good answer. And if you could live in a video game, which one you picking?
Bloodborne.
Bloodborne. That's a good one, man. I see this guy. He likes Elden Ring, Bloodborne, Dark Souls. That's your thing.
Fantastic, but Bloodborne's I'm waiting for number 2.
Yeah, that was a good one.
When that comes out, Jess, you're not going to see me for like a month.
That was a really good one.
That brings us to our last question. Go ahead, Mike.
Who's more likely to ruin a night out, you or Miss Link?
Oh, hell, Jess. every time. She already does it. She's sitting there and she glares at me and she's like, I'm done. All right, let's go. We're at least getting tacos on the way home, right? Yes. Okay.
He's talking about how you won't see my ass for a month, but you ruin every night out with us.
Yeah. He's not itching to get out of there to play that Bloodborne too. He's like,
See-
man, I just
See,
saved
here's the
before this
issue is
boss."
she is very, very time. Everything's on a schedule.
Yeah.
That's why we
yeah.
don't get along very well, because nothing of mine is on a schedule.
That's just the lady. That's the female in her. My wife is very
She will
regimented
plan
as
everything,
well.
and I'm sitting there like
To the
do I-
T, like to the minute.
she'll sit there. She'll plan everything to the T. She's got everything packed out. We're going to Puerto Rico, and I'm like, do I need swim trunks?
You're
Let's
going to
get
an
him
island.
I got shorts. They can double.
That's it. I'm telling you, I always get yelled at for taking too much time, nonchalant.
She'll
you're not
take
worried
an
about
hour to get
anything.
ready, and when she's done, I'll be like, "Are you ready? Okay, let me just put my shoes. My shoes are slip on, by the way."
Yeah.
And she'll just glare at me. To point it out, I accidentally told her. I usually tell her when I leave my house, and it's an hour and a half to her place. I tell her when I leave that that I'm leaving, so I'll be there in an hour and a half. I wasn't thinking. I had a client, so I did my client, and then I headed there, and she's like, "So when are you getting here?" I'm like, "I'm 30 minutes out." I had a grown woman hiss at me when I went through the front door. Literally stopped, turned, and went. I shut the door. I walked back down the stairs. I hid in my car.
Oh my God. Kevin Smith just gave her a new nickname, by the way. It's Jessica Stopwatch Link. There you go. All right, man. Well, hey, Isaac Doolittle taking on Jake
Keeps me on
Bostwick.
track.
There you go. March 17th, Delray Beach, Florida. You got any last words for anybody that's listening before we let you get out of here?
I just want to thank all my sponsors. Jess, I know you're listening. You can beat me later. It's all in good fun. Bostwick, we're going to dance. We're going to have fun. And winner is definitely buying the loser a beer. And I swear to God, I'm not going to drink beer for this one. I want root beer. Please, I want root beer.
There it is, man. It's going to be an exciting fight. Definitely a fight of the night type contender fight. Can't wait to see you back in there. Isaac, Mike, you got anything for him?
Man, I wish we were there because you know what? The last couple of times we were able to be at the fights with you guys, and I love running into you and Jessica Link. You guys are always a great time, and speaking to your coach too last time was awesome. So
Well, she's fantastic. Everybody loves her. It's me you got to deal with.
yeah, well, we love dealing with you, and as Kyle said, after the fights, that was one of the most memorable times for us. We've got pictures where we're all sitting in that circle, and you know, there was just a whole bunch of people there that made that moment awesome. You know, Torres was there, you were there, Richmond, Lytle, Wheelock, Link. I mean,
Jared Warren.
I threw Pittman in the trash can at one point.
Yep.
Great
it was
times,
awesome.
man.
There was so many people there. It was such a great time. So never forget it. So
looking forward to the next one, brother. I wish we could be there, but best of luck March 17th, and we will catch up with you down the road. All right.
Take care.
Take it easy.
later,
brother.
man.
There he is, the Honeybadger. The Honeybadger versus the Brutal One on March 17th in Delray Beach, man. That one is matchmaking to a T right there. Good on fucking Nate Shook for making that one, because I have a feeling that one will not fail. This next guy we're having on is a legend in the bare knuckle sport, whether it be sanctioned or unsanctioned. I'm looking forward to talking to this guy. He's making his return. Who's even Mark Johnson? Is that the guy's name? Mark Johnson.
Yeah.
March 17th, Delray Beach. Let's bring him on. The Hialeah champ, Rene, white boy.
Yo,
Rodriguez. What's up?
get with my people. What's up?
Dude, we've been wanting to get you on this show for a while. We are excited to have you on here. Welcome to the Mike and Mish show, and we're excited to see you back in there right off the rip, dude. Can you clarify something for me and Mike? When you look at the graphic for you and Mark Johnson, it lists it as a bantamweight fight. Is this a bantamweight fight?
All right, I can hear you now. Sorry about that.
Oh, did you not hear me? Okay, so can you clarify something for us?
Yeah, go ahead.
You have fought most of your career at 185, 175. You were 164 pounds your last fight. What is this weight class that you're fighting at right now?
165.
Okay.
Okay.
They got it wrong. They have you guys listed as bantamweights on the fucking fight card.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was
We were like, holy shit, what?
we're like, wait a second. There's no way Rene Rodriguez is dropping 30 more pounds. That fucking can't happen.
No, yeah, you're crazy. I can't even do that to myself.
Yeah.
Nah, man, I'm weighing 165 right now.
Okay. So I showed the graphic for the fight to Mike earlier, and it had you two listed as bantamweights. I was like, Mike, this can't be right? This has got to be bullshit. Yeah.
No,
All right.
you're
Well,
crazy.
here you are, man. Like, you are this guy that has this resume of bare knuckle scraps under your belt from your days with Dada in the backyards, fighting alongside him and Jorge Masvidal. And I just watched a fight with you against a guy named Billy something that looks like he took the Captain America super serum, and you fucking were clowning his.
Oh yeah. He was a leader out here. Billy, he was from Finnegan. Yeah.
Dude.
I called him Billy the Fish after all of that. Yeah, big swole dude. Yeah.
Big swole. If
Hey, he's the one because of him. He made me famous overnight.
I believe that because, like I said, you're over there in the black beater and you're like leaning against the cage, having a good old time. And this dude comes out like jacked, like he came right out of that Captain America fucking pod thing. And then during the fight, you're dancing, you're clowning him, you're like making faces at him. And then you just cleaned his freaking clock with, I don't remember what the punch was that finished him off. I think it was two.
Right.
Yeah, two right up against the cage, right? Like, oh, it was
Yeah.
fucking beautiful.
To make sure he didn't get up on the second time.
Yeah. So how did you get? So let's just start there. We're not going to go through your whole life. We have another guest coming on after you, but we don't want to take up too much of your time.
No worries. What you want to know?
How did that start? Like, how did the marriage,
The
like
backyard,
getting together
how I
with
started going
Dada?
to the backyard? It's funny because it was a friend of mine that I went to the backyard to fight. A friend that he's a best friend of mine now that they call him Wee Wee is Ricky, but at the time his nickname is Wee Wee. You know what I'm saying? And my boy's from New York. He came from he represents Hialeah. You know what I'm saying? And we from Hialeah. I don't know if in your area, you got some areas that if you're from Hialeah, you're from Florida, you don't get along. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it was something like that. Hialeah's, we just didn't get liked. So when we got there, he got his ass whooped, 2 black eyes and shit like that. And the guy was shorter than him. You know what I'm saying? So I started laughing. So I said, hey, fuck it, put me down on the next fight. And at the time I was weighing about 250 pounds, and I started at 250, and then I dropped down to 215. And then I dropped down to 185, 175, and 165. And then that's from there on, I just kept on doing it. When it was every month I was fighting in a warehouse or in the backyard, you know what I'm saying? And it was crazy because it was illegal, but cops would be there watching the fight like it was like, you know what I'm saying? It was nothing, you know what I mean?
They supported it basically, right? Because
it
was kind of like, hey, at least they're not on the streets killing each other. And
we're not doing anything. We're just doing it in here. And you know what? Actually, yeah, because when I beat Billy the first time when we were doing the documentary with Telemundo, with Ana Polo,
yes, I
saw
that.
Filming it, and they waited for me outside, like 50 of them waited for me outside with guns. You know what I'm saying? They were shooting that shit in the air. Oh my God! So I was the only dude with the gun. And the funny part, my gun was where they were at, where the car was parked. And I'm like, yo, it's just crazy. But, it was all about respect. It was about, more about, territory and shit. But in the end of the day, it was all about love and respect. You know what I'm saying? And it's not about what it is now, being a celebrity or trying to look cute with a belt. You know what I'm saying? It was about what you repped and what you're repping now. You know what I'm saying?
So how many fights would you say that you had prior to going pro?
Oh, in the backyard, I had 12. I was 12-0.
12-0. And now, what is your
are you professional record? I have 3-2.
3-2.
So I'm in total of 15-2.
15-2. I thought you had more than that for BYB. Didn't you have like 5 or 6 fights for BYB?
I had 4 fights, but the one that they had on the battleship didn't count as a professional fight. You know what I'm saying? But in
okay.
BYB, I've had 4 fights.
Okay,
All right.
that
All right.
explains it because I was wondering why certain fights weren't listed on your box rec.
Yeah.
bio.
But BYB, since it was admitted to the bare knuckle, but not into to the record.
So now
But only in BYB records.
okay. That
That
explains
doesn't make any sense, but in that
Yeah.
sense.
That explains what questions we had there. But you came over to BKFC. You made your debut against Jake Young back in what was it, December?
December 3rd.
December 3rd, the last stateside event of the year last year. You impressed. You fought a tough kid in Jake Young.
And I retired him.
And did he retire after that?
Yeah, he retired.
Is he done? Done.
Yeah, that's the second person I've retired.
No kidding. I didn't know that about Jake.
Matt Dillinois. I retired him too.
Speaking about that, right, before we go forward to BKFC, right, let's talk about that fight because, Kyle and I were talking about before we got on here, and you hit the ref by accident, right?
Yeah, man.
Bill Clancy. So you and Delanoy had bad blood, or at least the thing I saw him talking shit about you. I didn't really see you talk much about him, but I did see something with him talking shit about you. He was talking to the Knuckle Up guys.
Yeah,
he was talking shit about you. And then I saw the fight, and you hit Bill Clancy by accident when he was breaking you guys up. And then you guys had a moment where, now I think up to that point you had knocked him down, so I believe you were winning the fight. But you guys hit each other at the same time, both fell. Now, what I can see from the fight and the replays is it seemed like, yeah, you got hit and you fell and he fell, but then you were getting back up and it seemed like you were fine. And Clancy's counting for you. So you're kind of looking at him, ask him a question. It doesn't seem like he understands what you say. So you take your mouthpiece out and you're like, what are you counting for? And then he's like, do you want to fight? Do you want to fight? And you're asking him a question and he did not give you the benefit of the doubt. He's like, fuck this. I'm calling it off.
Yeah.
What the hell happened there? And have you talked to him since then?
You know what? It's funny because now we're best friends. Now we chat and we text. You know what I'm saying? That's fucked up. And I challenged it. You know what I'm saying? But the fucked up part is he's the president of all the boxing commission anyway. So how the fuck you gonna win that case? You know what I'm saying?
I was right.
But I did fight it. They denied it. But I did see him when I was fighting Jomi. I saw him that day at the Jamestown Night Center, and we talked. You know what I'm saying? I said, hey, I tried to challenge. He says, yeah, I saw it in my office. So, but at the end of the day, I don't care because I don't consider none of that losses because at my age, at 39, at 185, I'm fighting people that came from UFC that have names, and that's all I wanted. Plus, I chose that fight because he was going to be the hardest one in the card. You know what I'm saying? Besides myself, So I told Mike I want to fight him before I fight Jomi because I know Jomi, he's not a power hitter. He's just an annoying hitter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I wasn't really worried about Jomi. You know what I'm saying? I don't underestimate him or anything like that. He's just a jabber. You know what I'm saying? But with Matt, I needed to because he came from UFC. He's very aggressive. You know what I'm saying? And you can't underestimate anybody when they're hungry or they want to prove something to anybody. You know what I'm saying? Especially a person that doesn't like you for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? Because I really didn't have no bad beef with anybody. I just said a comment because my wife told me at the time that his wife said something slick about me. And to me, if you're in a man's world, women stay out of it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't stay out of it, then you open the door for me to get, tell you something. You know what I'm saying? So I just said in one of the conversation on a podcast, you know what I'm saying, to tell them, hey, some people just got to check their women, man, because here in Miami, we take bitches too. You know what I'm saying? It's not about all chit-chatting, you know what I mean? We ain't scared over here, you know what I mean? That's all I said.
Yeah.
I didn't say.
I'm sure that went over well, right?
I just said something like that, and then rah, 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 rah. You know what I mean? But, what I do like is that he made me put my mindset to be more aggressive because usually I'm not an aggressive guy. I'm more of a counter fighter and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because the point of fighting is about giving hits, not receiving hits. You know what I'm saying? And to last long in the bare knuckle world, in my sense. You know what I'm saying?
Especially in the bare knuckle world, for sure.
Yeah, man. Because
a few things. What you said about Bill Clancy is like that classic like high school story where you get in a fist fight with a kid and end up being best friends with him afterwards. Like I think
Yeah,
everybody's got one of them, right? Like I think we all got one of them.
yeah, yeah. That's how we became. Yeah, he's a cool referee. You know what I'm saying? I say, hey, you fucked up my call, though. You know what I'm saying? He
Yeah.
said, I told him, I know
Um,
you took it personally. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good though.
we got the guerrilla warfare management group in the comments saying that Jake Young will be fighting in May or June, so maybe he is not retiring.
All right, all right. Hey,
So
he
good
said it
for
on
him
his-
coming back. Good.
I hope that his knee is
Is good.
better because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like, a
Hey,
couple
because
times
yo,
now.
it's kind of fucked up when you're fighting with your knee. I don't know anything about it, but I
Yeah.
can imagine. You know what I'm saying? And he's a cool guy. You know, he's a cool dude.
Yeah,
You know, like I
very
said,
cool
I
kid.
don't underestimate anybody. I don't disrespect anybody. But you know, when we're there, we're business. And you know, if you talk shit, that's the only thing I do. I do like because it makes me just want to fuck you up. You know, I'm a fucking nice guy, dog, and it sucks. You know that I have to be nice before I get hit to become somebody else. You know.
Now let me ask you this: you got Mark Johnson coming up. I can honestly tell you that I tried to do some research into your opponent, and I couldn't find a goddamn thing on him. So
Nothing.
hopefully, you know a little bit about your opponent. You can game plan for him. But I would assume that you took this fight because you're not picking opponents right now. You're just trying to stay busy and get some wins for the company. But I would imagine after you get a couple wins in the BKFC, you're going to start eyeballing some of these bigger names in the
Hey,
165 pound
I want
division,
Mike
right?
Perry, man. I don't. Hey, I want everybody from the UFC. Anybody. I don't give a fuck. Hey, you can't even pay me 15 grand. If I take your name, I'm worth more than 15 grand after that. I don't got nothing to lose. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I do this because I love it. You know what I mean? I've been doing this for 15 years. And if it was about money, I wouldn't be doing this right now. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you
You,
that off rip.
Yep.
You know?
you got one hell of a fucking like your backstory. Like everyone's got a story about you. Look at Slaughterhouse. That's Ryan Perez right there. Only guy I smoke a few joints with and then do 10 rounds sparring. Monster. Like we keep hearing all these things about you, so that's why I feel like you have such a backing. Maybe not on a worldwide level
Yeah.
like some of these UFC guys, but like if
You know what it
they,
reminds me of? Yuli.
Yuli, yes, very
You
much
have like that
Yuli.
same kind of like effect in that area, you know?
Yeah. Look,
People know who you are.
the thing is, you know why? Because you know what I like about myself, and it took me when I hit 40 to realize it. Everybody wants to be a champ. You know what I'm saying? That's cool to have that little medal, the belt around your waist or shit like that. Yeah, but who's gonna remember you 10 years from now, 5 years from now? Everybody becomes a champ. You know what I'm saying? But who could become a legend? Who could say that they opened the path and started this? You know what I'm saying? Nobody. I started I paved the way. Kimball paved the way. George Michael paved the way. Level paved the way. Tree paved the way. You know what I'm saying? Not promoters. You know what I'm saying? But fighters. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Yeah.
one of them, you know what I'm saying? And I'm a pioneer to it, you know. And to me, in the end of the day, I don't give a fuck about a belt. That's why I don't give a fuck about the 165 champ, the 155, 175. I don't care. To me, nobody knows you when you step outside the door. You know what I'm saying? But when I walk around Miami, people know me. You know what I'm saying? That's because I live in Miami. But if I walk anywhere in Florida, people know me. Anywhere in the United States, people know me. One or two people will know me. You know what I'm saying? That's just because I made myself feel that way, and I've worked hard to get there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't need to be a champ. I'm a fucking legend. You know what I'm saying? People like it or don't like it. The people in the streets know that I'm a legend. You know what I'm saying? On YouTube, I'm 2 million views on loan. You know what I'm saying? And that's without any help, without anybody. That's me alone. You know,
Yeah.
imagine if I did have any help. Imagine if I did have
Crazy.
somebody that say, "Hey, I'm gonna back this white guy up and say, hey, we could go to the top." You know, but in the end of the day, like a lot of rich people say, it's better to be your own boss and shit, doing it yourself because you don't have to worry about anybody else saying that they got you there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Hey,
that's
did
why
you
I'm
know?
doing it. Plus, when I am there, because I am there now, I'm gonna open the doors for the underdogs, the people that they overlook. And that's why I do it, I do it for the people that have been overlooked. And I've been overlooked and I'm still here fucking people up. So it is what it is.
You have a crazy backstory. Like your life is definitely a book or a movie or something like that. They could definitely make a movie about you. You mentioned a couple names there. Did you know Kimbo like personally?
No, yeah, I knew Kimball, but not directly. But I knew Kimball. You know what I'm saying? We hung on in the same circle, but not. I can't say we were
Okay.
best friends. You know what I'm saying? But I can respect the man that he did. He started the way, and then we went through it. You know what I'm saying?
It's just one of those things like you wish this sport was around 20 years ago. You know what I mean?
Hey, what?
I mean,
I
like
wouldn't be working
legally.
right now.
I mean,
Instagram was back then. What? Hey, fuck everybody that's in fucking BKFC that think they have a big name. They can suck a dick. They can suck a dick now. I don't give a fuck. Hey, look, let's put it like this. Because you're on the podcast. You know what I'm saying? You know the tricks. You know how many of these fuckers have these 46,000 likes and 40,000 people following? Fuck you. I go to your reels and I only see 1,000, 2,000 the most. If you're pushing money, you're doing it yourself. But then you know what when I really realize you ain't shit is when your fans don't come and see you or support you. You know what I'm saying? Oh, when you fight, hey, my wins or my losses, I've had a crowd waiting for me. Who the fuck can say that? You know what I'm saying? If
Yeah.
you've been in any of my fights, after my fights, people wait. And if they don't wait, they leave. Because they come to see me. They don't give a fuck about anything. And it's not, look, the funny part is it's not even about me. It's about the energy and the way I present myself when I'm in the ring. You know what I'm saying? They might not like the person that I am right now, but they love me when I'm in that ring, though.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because I
Yeah.
bring the energy. I don't know how, but I'm blessed by God that, you know, he's brought me here, and because of him, I'm still doing what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying?
And you can
Absolutely.
you definitely can throw hands with the best of them.
Hey, and look, I've gone from 200 pounds to 165, and
you said earlier
and
that
I'm
you were at
banging.
250 at one point. I can't even imagine what you looked like at 250. No offense, but like
Wow, it's
you're-
crazy.
Oh shit! I can send you a picture.
you must have been a big boy for sure.
Yo, I was a big dude.
Well, hey, we don't know much about Mark Johnson. Just tell us what.
Yeah,
what
I don't
can
know
we-
anything about him neither. I just know he's from MMA.
Okay, and what can we expect on March 17th between you and him?
Hey, what can I expect is I can't underestimate anybody. To Mike Johnson, hey, I wish you luck, and you know it takes balls just to be in there with anybody. You know what I'm saying? Not just with me alone. It takes balls just to be in the ring and say, hey, I'm gonna fuck somebody up, or somebody's gonna fuck me up. So all respect to him. You know what I'm saying? But if there was any disrespect, then you know, game open. You know what I'm saying? Game on. But all bullshit aside, I like to be honest and be humble about it. And you know, best man win. You know what I mean? And I've worked hard. Too hard to lose to anybody. So, you know, you better be a better man and win. You know? That's all I gotta say, man.
They definitely got somebody in yourself that comes with a following, that has a lot of energy, that fights exciting. I hope that they don't hold you back, and they let you stay busy within the company, because they are building that roster's getting huge, and they can definitely keep guys, as long as you stay healthy, you don't break any hands, you don't really get too cut up, you can turn right back around, and two events later you could be back on a
They're in
card.
Florida
you're
a
right.
lot too.
And they're in Florida a lot. So hopefully you stay busy. We're gonna wrap this up with you. We don't want to take too much of your time. We're gonna throw a couple off the wall questions at you, and then we're gonna let you get out of here. Okay.
Go ahead.
Here we go. What is the most useless invention of all time in the eyes of Rene Rodriguez?
Child support.
Child support.
Hey, you know, I like where you're going
solid,
with that.
dude.
Yes,
That is solid. That's a quick answer too.
that was
I mean,
really quick. Yep, love it.
There we go. Number 2.
If someone was to ask you for the best night out in South Florida, where are you sending them?
In South Florida.
Yeah, where would
What,
you
in
have
this
somebody
time,
go?
at
Like,
this
hey,
age?
yeah, like if I said, hey, Rene, I want to go out to Florida.
I
I need to get dinner and go
I'll
out
tell
for
you
the
a
night,
place,
you know?
Studio 60.
Studio 60.
It's an Adapata, man, off 36 and 24, boy. Hey, you want to get loose with about a great goose, you can get loose.
Studio
I
60.
do
Write
like
that
that
down.
Grey Goose. Everybody knows that.
Hey, telling.
I love it. I love the answer there. I'm gonna fucking write that one down.
Studio
What's
60.
What's the worst or weirdest dream you've ever had?
Shit. I don't even remember my dreams, but if I did, I don't know, man. What?
That's fine. That's fine. That's a good
I've
enough
had some
answer.
Being
real
locked
messed
up again? I don't know.
Being locked up again. That's
Yeah,
a
sometimes
shitty
you have
dream.
a dream, like a reoccurring
Who the
dream.
fuck wants to be locked up
Hey.
again?
Do you want to hear? You want to hear a weird dream? When I was a kid, do you guys remember the show that was on TV called Who's the Boss that had Tony Danza in it? Do you guys remember that
Yes.
show?
I can't hear you.
Do you guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Do you remember a show called Who's the Boss back in the 80s?
Oh yeah, come on, that's in the 90s. Yeah, I
So-
remember that with the chick, right? Yeah.
With
The guy and the chick.
Alyssa Milano and Tony
Yeah.
Danza. But they had that grandma. Her name was Mona on the show.
Mona.
I used to have this like reoccurring nightmare as a child of Mona chasing me through this fucking mansion. And I would like run into rooms. And there was a movie called Beastmaster back in the day where these dudes used to put their wings around you and then like shake you and your
Oh
fucking
yeah, I
bones.
remember. Yeah, they just let you go. Yeah, I remember that.
Those guys were in the rooms. I would wake up with
Damn,
a
we're
nightmare.
talking about some classic movies now.
Yeah. I would have, that is no lie. I probably had that dream fucking 20 times in my childhood of Mona chasing me through a fucking house and getting caught by those wing dudes and fucking, with the bones. Yeah, so there you go. now you know how fucked up I am too.
Oh my God.
All right, last question.
Nightmares
for you,
about Mona. All
Yeah,
right.
fuck Mona.
What is invisible, but you wish people could see?
Well, people could see.
Yeah, like for instance, you know how like in cartoons when people fart, you can see like the green smoke.
Yeah.
What is
Fear.
invisible
Fear.
that you wish people could see?
How much of a good person I am.
There you go.
That is pretty deep. That's a pretty deep
That's
one.
a deep question. That's a deep
I'm
answer.
thinking about like, burps, farts, and fucking shit. But that is good. That is good because, like, you can't just look at somebody and see that. You can't.
People in this society, we just judge by looks, man.
Yeah.
And if it's by looks, then you only go by the suit and tie, and the suit and tie are the ones that are fucking us. So you know what I'm saying? I'd rather be scared of the suit and tie than a person looking like me. You know what I mean?
I love that answer.
Great answer,
that is
dude.
a really good answer for that. That's awesome.
So there we have it, man. White boy Rene Rodriguez is making his second trip to the squared circle for
Thank
BKFC
you, man.
March 17th against Mark Johnson. It's
Get
next
ready.
week. Get ready. Get the app if you don't have it already and tune the fuck in. You got any final words for anybody that's going to be paying attention or listening to this podcast?
Yeah, man. Expect the show. You know, if you see me before, you already know what's gonna happen. Hey, if it's 5 rounds, you know I could last 5 rounds. I've lasted 7 rounds, 3 minutes, and 2 minutes. This is cake, dog. 2 minutes, yo. It's funny how people die in 2 or 3 rounds or 2 minutes. It's just wow. I'm hungry, dog. You know what I'm saying? You got that saying that the wolf that climbs the hill, you know what I'm saying, is hungrier than the one that's up the hill. Yeah, I've been climbing this fucking mountain for years. So, you know what I mean? I could be the top of the top, but I'm still going to be hungry. You know what I'm saying? Because in the end of the day, I don't want to fight no more. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to get a big bag. And when I get it, you're not going to see me anymore. You know what I'm saying? But the next underdogs are going to come after me, though. You know what I'm saying? I promise you that.
I love it, man. I love your energy. I love your story. And I can't wait to see you
Thank
fight
you,
on
man.
March 17th.
And I love y'all for having me on the podcast again. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate you,
Showing me love. And thank you for doing the history because, yo, a lot of people don't even do that and giving me the acknowledgement and the recognition for that. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it. Thank you for the love.
The people that don't,
no
I don't know what they're
It's
doing.
due.
Then. If they're not doing that, they're not doing the job right.
Yeah, I
Anyways,
appreciate
man, we'll be paying attention. We won't be at the event. We're usually at them live, but we will not be there March 17th. I wish we could be there to see it live, feel that energy. But best of luck to you, and we'll catch up with you down the road.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right,
Later,
brother.
man.
Take it easy.
Bye.
There it is. White boy Rene Rodriguez making his second trip to the squared circle to take on Mark Johnson. We don't know much about his opponent, but we do know that guy is got a resume and a background that is worth looking into. Everybody should go check out White boy Rene Rodriguez because he's fucking crazy and his story is nuts.
Yeah.
And I love
There's
that
some
about
good
him.
videos on YouTube. Go just search him on YouTube. There's a lot of
search
cool videos of history of him fighting. You know, it looks like they just took the fencing that, cordons off like construction sites.
Yeah.
And they just took those and put them in a
there.
square and people just around it and he's fighting in them. It's crazy. Yeah. He's fighting in the backyards a while back. So
Yeah. So check him out. Thank you to him for coming on. We got our last guest of the evening sitting in the weight room right now. We're not going to make him wait any longer. He is the former 2-time Bellator featherweight champion. He's got a long, illustrious MMA career, but he has taken off the gloves and he is making his debut in Bareknuckle against Datwin. What a fucking fight they lined up here.
Wow. Yes.
Here he is, man. Daniel Straus. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
Hey,
man. Thanks for coming on the show tonight. Letting us talk to you a little bit.
No problem. Real quick though, I gotta
up?
say, just catching the last of his interview, I'm a fan of that guy.
Yeah,
I like you said, he has some good energy. I like that. I like that a lot.
like I just said, he is definitely a guy. He's been fighting in the backyard. He was fighting with Dada and Kimbo and Jorge back in the day.
Yeah,
he is a true pioneer for the bare knuckle fighting. So for him to sign with BYB, get a few fights over there, and then come over to BKFC now he's in the mix with all these other big names at 165. I can't wait to see what they do with that dude.
it's dope. It's dope to hear. I'm excited to see him fight as well.
Yeah, but here we are with you, man. Like we just said, you have had a long, incredible career in MMA. And, couple-time champion here and there, Bellator forever. I don't know how many, 18, 20 fights you had for Bellator. It's crazy.
I'm stupid.
Yeah, so now this opportunity comes your way to fight bare knuckle. Was this something that you were seeking out, or was this something that they saw you on the free agent market on the radar and reached out to you?
I don't know about on their end. It was actually brought up to me a little over a year ago. I think, a little over a year ago. And I really wanted, once I had got done, I had a fight. I hadn't been fighting, and I had an MMA fight, and I was like, you know what, my body's all banged up with this. If I can get another opportunity, just throwing hands, I would love to. I had talked to some guys, tried to get with bare knuckle a little bit. I know there was a little talks with them, but nothing really panned out. And some months ago, coach called me and was like, "Hey, what's up? You still want to do this or not?" I'm like, "Yeah." So that's kind of how it fell into my lap, and I couldn't be more grateful for him.
How long ago did that phone call happen? Because we know that Datwin was supposed to fight Johnny Bedford in January. That was slated to happen, and Johnny ended up announcing his retirement. I think it had a lot to do with the nerve damage in his face. He had in one of his last fights, one of his last two fights, I think he cracked his orbital and ended up having nerve damage. So he ended up retiring. But that was supposed to happen in January. So did the phone call to you happen as soon as that fight got called off? Or?
I think it was around late December.
Okay.
Around about then, late December, early January. So I had already been doing my thing and everything. So I got the opportunity, jumped on it, and here I am.
The name that they threw at you. You gotta be are you familiar with Datwin?
I am now.
You are now. Now, that is not the easiest fucking test in your first run in BKFC. This is you're getting about the best of the competition here. So you go in there and you get a win on that. You're the man. You're automatically the man at 145 in the BKFC, which is a division that's really starting to stack up with a lot of young killers. A former opponent of yours is now in there. Keith Richardson's around. There's a lot that you can get into, man, with this. How pumped up are you about this fight with that?
I'm excited. Just getting a name like that is, it doesn't really shake me much. I hats off to him to everything he's done, and bare knuckle and his boxing career and everything. It's no knock to him, but I've been doing this for a while. You know what I mean? Every time I fight somebody, it's going to be the toughest guy I fight. You get what I'm saying? So I don't
Yeah.
look at it like, oh, he's this, star fighter or whatever. It's another fight for me. You know what I mean? It's another killer that I got to go and take down. I've fought plenty of those, and I'll always fight those. You know what I mean? Because of what I've done. So I expect nothing but the absolute best from him, and he's going to get nothing but the absolute best out of me.
So have you been a fan of BKFC for a while? Because I saw you with the female champ, best female fighter in all of Bareknuckle, Christine Faria. So you saw some pictures on your Instagram from, I don't know how long ago it was, but I saw you guys like at a track or something like that. So
yeah.
Have you been following the sport for a long time? You're a big fan?
Well, first off, shout out to her, Misfit, man. She's a dope person. We used to train together. And yeah, I watched it a little bit. You know what I mean? My head was somewhere else. So I always, whatever I'm focused on, I focus on that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't like ingrained into Bareknuckle or anything like that. But yeah, I was a fan of it. Anything that's a combat sport, I'm a fan of. And I'll check out a little bit here, check out a little bit there. Because that's just that's in our nature, as fighters.
Right.
We want to see people throw bombs. We want to see people, get their face punched in and shit like that. No, it's my bad. But, so I've been a fan. But, no, I can't say that I was like super ingrained into it, or, I'm not going to sit up here and bullshit people like, oh, I've been watching it since day one. Like that's not me. I've always been, single-minded, focused on what I'm focused on. And, I got an opportunity to watch a bunch of, fights back in the, not back in the day, but, a bunch of their beginning fights, especially when Misfit was fighting and when she was training. I got to, like I said, I was around here for a while and when she was training. And, yeah, it was always appealing to me.
You said you used to train with her. Did you train with her prior to her Bareknuckle days, or did you start training with her after she was already in Bareknuckle?
She was already so. I believe it was before she had won her belt, and then she had won the belt, and we were still training together. So I think this was like maybe 2018 ish.
Oh wow!
You know what I mean? So it's been a minute. Yeah, we've known each other for a while.
Yeah, she's about as good as they get. The top of the top. She's that Mount Rushmore female right now in the Bareknuckle world for sure. And she's taking on
every bit.
Absolutely
every bit. She's a dog.
And they lined her up with they put her on that April 29th card that they're like building this fucking massive mega card with Rockhold and Perry and Alvarez. You're familiar with Alvarez being a Bellator guy for a long time. And then they throw her on there with Beck Rollins and winner coming off a win or a loss. Beck Rollins is an exciting fighter. So I can't wait to see her and Misfit throw down Beck and Misfit. Did you check out the MVP fight when MVP fought Perry?
Excuse me. I did get to see that. That was a little fun fight.
Yeah, what did you think of the sudden death round that they do in this sport? Isn't that awesome?
You couldn't ask for anything better. You know what I mean? Couldn't ask for anything better. Like, let's get it. You know what I mean? So, the thing about the rules over here is like getting familiar to them and everything. Yep. I like it. You know what I mean? It's a combat sport. You know what I mean? It's meant for you to throw. So,
absolutely.
Well, that overtime rule could come into play in your fight. Technically, it could. I mean, you might not be planning on going all the way, but if there is a draw by the end of that fifth round, it's a main event. That's when that rule can come into play. You just never know.
It clicks in, and I would be all of obliged to keep throwing if I could. You know what I mean? If I got to. So
we've been going with BKFC for a few years now and covering all their events and whatnot. And we've been saying at the 5-year mark, now they're in their 5th year here, they basically reinvented the sport when they got it legalized in 2018 anyways. In 2023 right now, they should look over their rules, and they should add that fucking sudden death rule to every fight, just to make it to like where in our sport there are no draws. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
I love that extra
Agreed.
round, and I think that they should add 2 rounds to the title fights right now.
No, go ahead. I feel like no matter what, someone should walk out of there a winner. We should know who won that fight and who didn't win that fight. You know what I mean? So I love it too.
It's a major bummer when you see 2 fighters putting it all on the line and they beat the shit out of each other and they're bleeding, they got cuts and everything, and they're like, it's a tie. And then they kind of just like, you could see them both deflate at that moment. They're just both like, oh, really? That's it?
Yeah,
Like
it fucking sucks.
Like I'm sure nobody wants to lose, but for some reason I feel like if they lost, at least they'd have some kind of closure. Like, okay, I lost, now I gotta get this back. But now it's like, shit, what happened? What are we doing?
Right. And it's important for the storyline. I've always said for MMA, and it's pretty much for everything, any sport. But it's a big soap opera. This guy fought this guy beat this guy, but this guy lost to this guy. You know what I mean? So the storyline is always building. And when you have a storyline that's just like, but they never, no one really won that fight. And then this guy goes on to have a great career and this guy kind of maybe stalls. It's, what would have happened if he actually won that fight? You know what I mean? What would have happened if he didn't win that fight? So I think it's a great thing.
When that shit happens too, and they don't run it back, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Sucks,
in BKFC, they had a great fight between Jimmy Rivera and Howard Davis. And Howard Davis is this young, early 20s, up and coming boxer fighting this UFC, veteran, 20-something fight veteran. He comes over and it's this tall boxer against this short UFC fighter. They go all 5 rounds. They go to a draw, and then they never make the rematch. And Howard fights somebody else in his next fight. We're like, why wouldn't they run that back? Like as soon as they're both healthy.
Right. And it leaves you to think about like what happened, does he not want to fight this guy, or you know what I mean? Does he not want to run it back? Does he not want to get that vengeance back, or is he hurt, or you know what I mean? It leaves too many questions. So definitely giving that guy the opportunity to get back in there and get that win back or whatever it may be.
That's a guy like you being like almost like a lifelong Bellator guy, and Jimmy being like a longtime UFC guy. It would be super cool to see you two in the BKFC ring, but you got to get through that first. That is no walk in the park, Daniel. We're gonna tell you right now. I know you're a world-class champion fighter, but that's gonna give you a good time on March 17th.
I expect him to. Like I said, I expect nothing less. You know what I mean? And as he's no walk, I'm no walk either.
Absolutely.
I didn't just wake up and just think about doing this. You know what I mean? Just like he didn't. And I've never been one to underestimate an opponent. I've always been smart about me trying to fight and who I'm fighting. Not who I'm fighting, but how I fight them. You know what I mean? Watching what I need to watch. Not fixating on what they do as much as get a game plan, execute that game plan and bang out. So
and you had 2 good fights. His last 2 fights were like perfect for you to watch because he was fighting 2 longtime MMA fighters in Johnny Bedford and Luis Palomino. So I'm sure you can watch those 2 fights and get a lot of notes in your game plan here. What is your long-term plan here? Was this a 1-fight deal, or do you have do you plan to stick around and go a while with this company, or maybe go back to MMA? What's the plan going forward?
So I signed a 3-fight deal with them.
Nice.
So I'll be here for a little bit.
Cool.
God willing that I don't get hurt, or he doesn't get hurt, no one gets hurt. I would like to keep it moving this year and just get back into the scene, keep my name out there, and keep rolling. But yeah, I definitely want to, do what I'm doing here. Like I said, I'm always one mind focused. So
Yep.
I'm here. I'm signed to this promotion. This is what I'm focusing on. This is who I'm focusing on. And once that dissolves, then we'll see what's up. But as far as right now, I'm a bare knuckle fighter.
Fucking awesome, man. It's good that this company that you're signed to right now just keeps on bringing in high level talent. And in 2018, when it first came around, people were looking at it like it's human cockfighting, like early fucking UFC or early MMA. What is this barbarian sport? Why the fuck is this legal? And now state athletic commissions are starting to come around and like draw back the fucking defense a little bit on this. They're realizing that it's not as dangerous as everybody thinks it is. More and more states are sanctioning it. So as more and more states allow it, I think the sky's the limit for this sport, and it could be right up there. I honestly think it's definitely more exciting than gloved boxing, for sure.
Right.
1,000% more, and it's catching up to MMA. Like it's just really good quality combat sports entertainment that is really drawing in high level talent now. I love it.
But I think the thing of it is like people don't believe in things until everyone else is believing into it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And just like you mentioned, like the early days of MMA and UFC and those promotions where it couldn't be sanctioned, it's because people didn't believe in it. You know what I mean? They didn't believe it was a sport because they knew nothing about it. You know, we're athletes, we're professionals. We go out here, we put it out all on the line. You know, we're not just walking off the street from drinking a beer and smoking a cigarette and, you know, well, some of us might be, but you know what I mean? Just throwing down or whatever, but we're professionals, you know what I mean? We go in there, we train hard, we work hard. And on top of that, it's our livelihood. You know what I mean? We do this to pay bills. We do this to put on a show for the fans and stuff like that. So once people start recognizing that, the sky's the limit for bare knuckle.
Oh yeah. I think it's just so much easier to understand to the everyday person, the person that doesn't follow fights, doesn't watch combat sports, but does like to tune in every now and then, or just likes to maybe go to the bar on a Friday, Saturday night to watch the fights with some friends, but they don't follow it. When they go to UFC, so I'll say from my point of view, I follow everything. I've been watching for years. Same thing with Kyle, right? And yourself, you know what's going on. When you go out and I see somebody and has a good high-level jiu-jitsu match. Now, I don't do jiu-jitsu myself, but I've been watching for so long. I'm so interested in what's going on there.
Get invested, right?
There are other people there that are just like, oh, geez, what is going on here? Like, it's been 30 minutes. I've been watching 15 minutes of these guys wrestling, another 15 minutes of these guys wrestling, and then all the stuff in between. So basically, it's been a half an hour plus time, and I have been uninterested. For this fight, right? For this, I feel like everybody's invested. There's not a lot of time to stop and run to the bathroom and, you know, maybe have a conversation with someone because it's people punching each other in the face. I mean, what is there not to understand about this? They come out, they fight 2-minute rounds. It's fast paced. There's 5 rounds. The winner usually doesn't make it to the end most of the time.
Yeah.
Then the next 2 fighters are coming out 5 minutes later. And it's like, here comes the next fight.
Yeah.
Glued to the TV.
And the thing about it too, like you said, it's fast paced, and you named the main 2 things. People are punching each other in the face, and it's fast paced.
Yes.
People want to see blood. They want to see blood.
Yep.
They want to see somebody get hurt. They want to see someone get knocked out. They want to see what's going to happen, and that's happening at a timely fashion where it's like, I don't have time to go take this shit. You know what I mean? I don't have time to go order another shot. I want to see what the fuck's about to happen.
Right.
And that's that. So it's dope.
I was a guest on just a regular sports podcast. They had me come on to help preview an MMA and a UFC pay-per-view that was coming up because these guys didn't really know anything about combat sports. So they knew that I knew pretty much about all combat sports, but they also knew that my focus right now is bare knuckle fighting. So they had me come on. I do my thing with the UFC and whatnot. And then they're like, can you explain to us what is this bare knuckle fighting championship that you're covering. And like they didn't even know what it was. Oh, I'm explaining it to them, and they're like, it's just bare hand. I'm like, well, they can wrap their wrists and shit, but it's a fist fight. And they're like, and why would people want to watch this? I'm like, because it's the most relatable combat sport on the fucking planet. Everybody that has a sibling has punched somebody in the face with a bare hand. Everybody that has a sibling has been punched in the face with a bare hand. Everybody that's been to a bar and had a few fucking drinks has watched a fist fight.
Right.
That's what this is. It's
Right.
basically what this is with more talented. It's more
Right.
obviously it's more
Trained.
talented fighters. They're
Yeah.
trained fighters, but you don't have to know what an omoplata is, or you don't have to know what a fucking guillotine is. You don't have to know what a fucking, body lock, drag,
Yeah.
takedown. You don't need to know any of that
Double
bullshit.
leg, single leg.
Right.
no.
You don't need to know any of that, but you do need to know how to put this into that person's face, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome. It's really relatable, and people have been punching each other in the face since the caveman days. So it's the oldest sport in the world.
Right. I've always told people like the thing about fighting that I like about fighting is that we get all that other shit out the way. You know what I mean? If you think about any other sport or anything, any disagreement that happens, what do they want to do? They want to fight. So we're not going to play the baseball and then have a fight. Nope, we're not going to play the hockey and then have a fight. We're going to subtract all that and just get to business. You know what I mean? Because that's what people come for. They came for that. So.
And hey, I will tell you that the guys that had me on that show, they tuned in to the next event, and then they were texting me. They were like, yo, that was one of the fucking craziest things I've ever watched in my life. I'm like, yeah. And I write back to him. I said, go to one live. You'll fucking never go back. I mean, you'll never turn back. And once you go to one live, it's a whole nother freaking world. It's great on TV. It's even better live. The energy in that room, that the crowd goes crazy, the sound, the blood, the fucking it's everything that a combat sport fan looks for. Daniel,
go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I've had people say the same thing that came to my fights for the first time. Like, they've watched me on TV plenty of times, but they're like, yo, this is different. This is life changing coming to a fight, and it is. It always has been. I like to think it's me, but it's definitely the fighting. You know what I mean? You get in there and you see people, like talented professional fighters, getting to it and being strategic and doing what we love to do. It's definitely a different feeling.
It's fucking great, and it's exciting to have you in the BKFC now, going against that win, main eventing in Delray Beach, Florida, BKFC 39. That's next week, St. Patty's Day, March 17th. If you have not gotten the app, get the app, people. You're gonna want to watch this one. Expect fireworks. We all know how Daniel's fought his entire career. You know how Dat fights. It's gonna be fireworks. Just another great matchmaking by the man Nate Shook there. Before we let you go, can we ask you a couple off the wall, non-fighting questions? We like to do this with everybody that have a little good time here. Let's go. Daniel Straus, what is the most ridiculous fact that you know?
Facts that I know?
You know any random factoids?
Yeah. So my daughter told me the other day, and I had to look this up. There's a guy that actually ate a plane.
Ate a what?
Yeah,
ate a plane.
I've heard about that guy. Was he in the Guinness book?
Yeah, he ate a fucking plane.
Ate the plane.
Like real shit.
How? Wait, okay.
And he's eating like light bulbs, bicycles, and all sorts of shit.
Glass, all type of shit. Like obviously not like he just in pieces ate a plane.
I am totally going to look that up when we get off this show here. That sounds like the most insane thing I've ever heard in my life.
That's crazy. Yeah. He was in the Guinness book.
I thought when my kid told me that lobsters pee out of their face and turtles breathe through their butts, I thought those were weird facts. But a man eating a plane, that's some fucking wild shit.
Yes, it is.
All right. Number 2.
What part of a kid's movie completely scarred you? So when you're growing up, watching a movie, right? Is there some part of a movie that you were watching that like, nope, for the rest of your life, that's just like one part is just stuck with you forever?
All right, so I'm gonna show my age here. I don't know if you remember this movie. I can't even remember what it's called, but these like clowns used to put people in a like cocoon.
Yes, Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Couldn't fuck with it. It was something about I don't eat because of that movie. I don't eat cotton candy and I don't like clowns.
No
Boom.
shit.
He
dude,
took the
that's-
swirly straw and they'd stick it in
And-
there and drink the blood out of it. I used to watch that. It was on USA all the time.
Oh man, that's a fucking great answer.
That's a great
two good
movie,
answers
too.
in a row here. Here we go. Number 3. What's the biggest animal you think you could kill with your bare hands?
Biggest animal I could kill
Yeah.
with my bare hands? Biggest animal. Kangaroo.
Kangaroo. Okay, that's a pretty big animal too. Yeah, it's
I'm
good.
beating the shit out of that motherfucker.
He'll stand when you bang too.
I used to say a mountain lion, and Mike used to always be like, "You're fucking insane if you think you could kill a mountain lion." And I'm like, dude, I think if you could avoid its front claws and you could get its back and get a rear naked choke on a fucking mountain lion, I think it's been done. I think I could do it.
Hey, you have a better chance of winning the lottery, my boy.
Okay, I'm dead then.
Yeah, we out of there. A kangaroo, at least I could pop them and take off running or something. You know what I mean?
They just get that one bite on your neck, blood choke, done.
It's a wrap.
Kick that kangaroo right in his fucking kangaroo nuts. Do they have nuts?
Yeah,
You just kick them right in his nuts.
I have no idea.
Some of them got to have nuts. Where are they all coming from?
All right, last question. Here we go.
What's the worst job you've ever had?
Worst job I've ever had. Now you got me stumped.
So
right,
Well, you've been fighting for so long.
I could tell you something real quick while you to maybe it'll jog something or whatever. But okay, one of the first, I think it was actually the first job I ever got on the books. Right, worked at KFC. Absolutely fucking hated this job with every ounce of my being. I remember, so like I worked under the table doing silly shit, whatever. So I got my working papers. Finally got a real job. I work at KFC. They're like, oh, we're gonna start you on original recipe. Hey, you're going to get the freaking wings out of the bag, pour it in here, do this and that. I did that for a day, came back the next day. They're like, yeah, we're going to put you back on original recipe. And I was like, I'm quitting this job. I fucking quit this job. I don't want to be here anymore, right? So I did that. It sucked. You had to wash the pans by hand. The floors were slippery and nasty. And then I found out how they made the gravy, okay? Changed my whole life.
Oh, don't ruin our lives right now.
Yeah. I don't even eat KFC, so fuck that. But yeah, that's a good one. So you got me thinking.
I quit. I got my paycheck. I planned. I said I'm gonna work my 2 weeks so I can get a full paycheck, and then as soon as I'm done with that 2 weeks, I quit.
I'm out.
I'm done. I left. I went somewhere else. I went to Newport Creamery and became a dishwasher. They had a real dishwasher there.
What is it? Not Long John Silver's. There's another fish spot. Captain D's. I worked at Captain D's, and probably one of the worst jobs I ever had. I was in the back in the kitchen and shit, and
probably
always getting popped with grease and shit. I'm like, man, fuck this job. I can't fucking take this shit anymore.
I'm gonna go fight people.
Working in kitchen sucks, man. It really does.
Yeah,
I hate it.
Yeah. Unless you're like a kitchen person that's like, talented, want to be around that. That's not me. I just can't do it.
If you're a chef, it's great, right? If you're a chef and you're creating the menu and you're walking around, you're all with this nice, clean chef's uniform. That's great. But if you're a cook, forget it. Sucks.
Do you want to hear a shitty job? It wasn't my job, but I don't know if you know this, Daniel. Me and Mike are both still actively in the Army right now. So I've been in for 22 years. He's been in for 50. Thank you.
Thanks.
But I was in Kuwait in 2003, and it was 135 degrees outside, and I get put on armed guard duty for they call them TCNs. They bring in these guys from the third country nationals from outside the post to come in and do like the jobs that nobody wants to do, like suck the shit out of fucking porta johns and shit like that. I got put on guard duty. I had to ride shotgun with this dude in a shit suck truck in 135 degree heat.
Oh god.
And it was like 8 fucking hours of me sitting with a loaded rifle in the fucking passenger seat smelling this dude suck shit all day. It was that probably the worst. It was only like I only had to do that like 2 or 3 times. So
That suck shit
thank
job
God.
sucked ass, huh?
yeah, suck shit job.
I couldn't do it. Y'all better than me. I'd have been
Yeah.
like, I need the first ticket home. This is
Yeah.
some bullshit.
Just discharge
Give me
my
that
ass, would you?
dishonorable discharge. I'm getting out of here. I don't give a shit.
Fuck
Yeah.
that.
We used to call it the shit suck truck. That was the job, the shit suck truck. Yeah, it fucking sucked ass, dude. But anyways, this has been a good time talking with you, Daniel. We couldn't tell you how when we heard that was coming back and that you were the opponent, we're like, whoa, where the fuck did that come from? This is a headliner for sure. March 17th. Do you have any final words for anybody that's listening? You want to deliver a message to Dat? You want to shout some people out? Go ahead and do it now.
Yeah, if you're a fan of me, I appreciate it. Keep watching. If you're not a fan of me, you will be. You guys, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. BKFC, love you guys. Can't fucking wait to showcase myself and keep doing what I love to do.
There it is. Go check it out. BKFC app, March 17th, main event, that win, and Daniel Straus. Mike, you got anything else for him?
Ah, man, thank you so much. As I told the rest of the guys, wish we could be there to see this live, but I'm sure we'll catch up face to face at some point. And we'll have a chit chat and make some content together. You know,
for sure. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Have a great night, Daniel, and best of luck next week.
Thank you.
We'll see you.
All right, man. Take care.
There he is.
Bullfrog Actual was asking Al Assad.
So I did a few months at Camp Doha with the Patriot battery up there. We helped those fucking guys out, and then we went down to Ali Salim for Arif John for the last few months of that deployment, and it just sucked ass. We lived, and this is like back in 2003 when there was no hard ball roads, there was no hard buildings, it was all tents and dirt roads. It lived in tent city, and all you heard was generators and fucking scud alarms and bunkers and all kinds of dumb shit.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so things have changed overseas, people. It's very much like there's
different.
Yeah, there's places over there that are a lot like fucking Germany nowadays. You know what I mean? Like PCS spots. People will go there for permanent positions and stuff. So
yeah, for those who are not military, PCS,
right,
permanent change of station. So it means you're going to be there for a while, 2 years.
Right. So what used to be like a combat zone is no longer a combat zone. It's just somewhere where you can get stationed for fucking 2 years if you're active duty. So anyways, suck shit, truck sucks. Shout out to Rookie Randall, Isaac Doolittle, Rene Rodriguez, and Daniel Straus. All 4 of those guys were fantastic fucking guests tonight. Super cool. Can't wait to see all their fights coming up, man.
Yeah.
All 4 of those guys are on that Delray Beach card, and we're not going to be there, dude.
I know. It's sad. It's a sad story.
Especially
Kyle, you could buy yourself a round trip for a couple days and get down there.
No, I am drilling with you guys this
are you? You're going to be with us.
Yeah, I'm inspecting your ass, man.
Don't inspect my ass.
Not your ass. Okay, I'm inspecting you guys.
Especially after sitting on this chair for a couple hours here.
No. I'll be with you guys this weekend or that weekend. So, but how fun would it have been to be in Delray Beach, Florida?
Kyle's trying to find out if I have more than 2 pink eyes.
Yeah. I wonder how you got that pink eye. What you been doing in that? What you and your Stephanie been doing?
I don't know. Wouldn't you like to know? Huh?
She's farting in your face while you're sleeping because you don't spend enough time with her on Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Oh, you want to watch BKFC and go on the road? Well, we'll see how's this feel. You won't be able to open your eye in the morning.
But dude, not only is it Florida, so we're gonna be leaving the north. We would have been leaving the Northeast in this shit weather up here, and like the weather's starting to get better, but it's still cold up here.
Yeah,
get down there, Delray Beach. Awesome fight card that just so happens to be St. Patrick's Day. Can you imagine what the post-fight parties are going to be like that night? It's going to be absolutely fucking insane. Shout out to Michael Quigg, who won those tickets last night, man. He gets to go down there, see this incredible stack card, go party, go do some St. Patrick's Day partying down there. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm
Gonna
jealous,
be living it up. Living
I
it up.
I
Russ
am.
Maxim, friggin' and Country hooking it up from the Extreme BK fans page. I mean, geez. Guys,
Jeez.
unbelievable.
Unreal. Hey, shout out to Guerrilla Warfare Apparel that are always taking care of us. GuerrillaWarfareApparel.com. Go use the promo code Mike and Mish. Get 15% off your purchase. Go to Condemned Labz, condemnedlabs.com. Use promo code Mike and Mish. Get 10% off your supplements. Get jacked like Mike. Go to... You can go to Norcom Mortgage's Instagram. You can go to their website. But if you could just call Mike Mish, 860-884-2103, and ask him anything you need to ask him about getting a loan, home refinance, whatever, hit him up. Go check out BKBetShark on Instagram. The guy's winning everybody a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And go check out Bareknuckle Corn
money.
Snacks. Get yourself some popcorn for these fights because you're not going to want to walk away from the TV. So get the Bareknuckle popcorn, get a little drinky, get a little, maybe a little, what's the Irish beer? Guinness. Again, get yourself a Guinness because it's going to be St. Patty's Day. Get some popcorn, get some Guinness, have a good time. Watch these fights.
Drink green beer on that day.
Those fucking guys are stew nods, man. You know what? People, I know that Joe Ivy said last week she misses Student Out of the Week. And I miss Student Out of the Week. But the thing is, like, we've been so busy getting so many damn fighters on.
Yeah, we need some employees is what I think we need.
Well, yeah, what we need to do is, like, we don't have time to find articles about absolute Student Odds. I did a little research today for the Florida Man game. That was fun. I mean, they could have been Stu Nod nominees, but
yeah, they could have been for sure. But were they of the weeks? That's of like fucking history.
That was not of the contract. Yeah. She says contract.
The amount of time that we're spending on this is incredible. I don't think people would ever even really realize. It's crazy, and we love it. Don't get us wrong, but you want to know who's not going to love it soon? And we talk about this all the time: the family. So it's like, hey. I sit here and I go, all right, where am I going to sneak down here? I got to change the laundry. I'll just open up my laptop for a couple minutes. And all of a sudden, I'm like, I hear, Mike, where are you? I'm downstairs doing the laundry. For 25 minutes, you've been putting the fucking clothes in the washer? That's it? For 25 minutes, it took you to do that. So, yeah, it's a lot. I don't know. I was separating the clothes. Yeah, right. I've been on my computer for 25 minutes fucking typing away doing video shit. Hey, it happens, I'm always trying to sneak in a couple minutes.
It's like a side full-time job that we got going on here. Yeah. So we love it, though. We're going to keep on riding, and we're going to keep on doing this shit. Working on some guests for next week. We don't have anything to announce yet, but where we'll be at 9 p.m. next Wednesday. Where we'll be at 9 p.m. next Thursday. There will be a guest list. Maybe we'll bring back a student out of the week. Maybe we'll give away some shit next week. But it is a fight week, and we got the event that Friday.
Yeah.
That Friday night. So gonna be a good week next week.
We're going to Virginia the week after that.
Yeah, then we're going to Virginia.
So drill fight weekend. Then it's non-drill going to the fights weekend.
Can't wait, brother. You got anything else for these peeps before we get the hell out of here?
Nope, I'm good.
Peace out, peeps.
Peace.